Just like it's like this.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jalen Williams. Now, a little bit about me. I am a former Division II collegiate track and field athlete. My primary position was the triple jump. Did fairly well. My PR is a 14.2 at 10 meters. Um, Goal of this whole thing is just to document my time and training to try and reappear as the Olympic trials for the United States in 2028. For that, we got to hit 16.8, and let's get into that.
Hello, everybody. This is day one of working out in an attempt to try and qualify for the Olympic trials. It's week one, day one. Gonna try this. Today we're gonna do some conditioning. Got my boy John coming over to help me while I help him do a mile. Time help him do that. Best way to do conditioning is with some 90-second runs.
So a little bit more detail about what's all going on. Um, Trying to train here for the next 4 years, make it to the Olympic trials. We're gonna do 4 phases of that, basically, of just straight conditioning. I don't know how long that phase is gonna be. Um, Form and strength building, and then just I want to transition, hopefully, at that point, to trying to do a Diamond League meet, which is the amateur level track and field events, and we're going to do that, and hopefully we'll be able to qualify for the Olympic trials in 2028. Now, what I'm doing here is stride's about a meter, so I ended up walking out about 400 meters. There's a beanbag placed at every 100-meter mark. Later on, my friend ends up coming and runs with his watch and tracks it to try and see how close we were. We were within about 5 meters, I want to say, 10 to 5 meters. But pretty dang close. For anyone who wants to do it, it's kind of hard to keep track, but about my stride is the length of a meter. That's how we were taught and raised. Later on, I hope to get a meter stick to be a little bit more exact. But I don't know if people understand that it's kind of poor century these days. So, well, other than that, I'm about to get into the workout here in a second. So let's get into that.
All right, well, I'm gonna start with a warm up. Nice, easy one. We're gonna walk 200, skip 200, jog 200. No, sorry, jog 400. 2 laps total. Oh, look, it's starting to rain. That about a bitch. Well, all was good. Then after that, we're gonna get nice stretch in, hit all the right vital areas. Then we're gonna go ahead and get some light drills. Probably just day one, do a couple drills just for making sure I have the proper form going across. And I don't know if I'm gonna do these in shoes or barefooted yet. We're gonna decide that. And so we'll do our cool down barefoot. So we're gonna get started with that.
So here I am about to start our 90-second run. Obviously, I don't have footage of my warm up. My camera guy is my close friend, and he was late, and we still had things to do, so I had to get warmed up. But next video will have the warm up, the drills I do, and everything like that. For just so you know, the warm up we ended up doing was just stretching. We did our laps. They went over in the beginning of the video. And then I did a dribble level up, is what we called it in college, where you start by dribbling over your ankles for about 10 to 15 meters, down and back, then to your shins, then over your knees, and then some stride outs. Just a quick engagement of all the vital portions of your leg that you utilize while running. Now, these 90-second runs, I ended up having poor pacing. This was a trial basis to try and see where our body was at before we get into the real week one, which is going to be week 2. I ended up dying so far. The pacing you want to hit for these runs is a 400 meters at 60 seconds and just keep pushing past that. Active recovery is always important in there. I go over that a little bit later. But yeah, no, it's for day one, first day in the training, it's a good baseline. See where we're at, even though it looks like I'm barely trying. And John thankfully was celebrating me throughout the whole way. I'm so dead right there.
Now, everybody, in honor of testing out how accurate the 25 mile is, 400 meters to say, John is running it with his watch. This is pretty accurate, so let's see if we're pretty close or like off. John is also our recovery time before we get started with other things. Now, the active recovery that I didn't go into too much detail about before, what that's going to entail: 50 abs, 20 handball tosses, and 25 push-ups. Do that after this one. Well, we already ran the first one. We're gonna do it after the second one as well. Look at John. I have a pause for John. For those who don't know, John is training to be an officer at the Toledo Police Department. I'm proud of John. He's also a weightlifter. Power lifter, sorry. He's a great dude. Good friend. All right, let's tune back in when we're on our active recovery.
All right, well, I'm going to give you guys some music to listen to. My form really isn't the greatest here. The big thing, you want to make sure you're unlocking your core. I use a lot of my back here, which isn't the greatest showing. I do get at least some full range of motion throughout my legs, but I was dying from the 90-second run. So just sit back and relax and get that in. Now here was my greatest relaxation. Now I do love abs because I hate being up. I chose crunches here. You do want to make sure that if you are going to do crunches, you do get them correct and make sure your back moves and it gets off the ground and you're not breaking your knees down to you. Of course, y'all know how to do crunches, but I decided to do crunches for my 50 abs. I count each ab as a crunch, or sorry, each side as a one crunch. I know some people don't, but it is what it is. Maybe as we get on, I'll integrate some more abs, just to kind of show people some new things to activate some core movements. That's amazing.
How are we feeling? Oh, it's just so ass. And we gotta run again. I don't think I can legally record you with all these children around.
Now, ignoring that man John's comments, so a lot of people may wonder why I look so bad being a former athlete. Still haven't worked out in a couple years as training environments per se. Ran some miles, but that's about it. Now, getting back into everything, so it is what it is. It doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish. And hopefully next week, I've got a good baseline for everything, and we're gonna get some good workouts in. Go into more details about that throughout the weeks. I am thinking of making a channel to upload some highlight videos midweek. But other than that, I should be posting every Friday and or Saturday night low. And yeah, well, just finished the run that I do. I'm completely dead here. So I guess one of the highlights of this workout, it's to keep you moving throughout the whole time. Even when I was recording John, was the only break I really had, but I never got a chance to rest. And as soon as he finished, I got into the active recovery. And yeah, it's kind of finishes up with day one. I do a cool down and recovery here, but it's not on film because John had to go. So that's what it was. But now on to day two. And yeah, good with that.
Alrighty, we're here for week one, introductory week, day two. Day two is, well, one, for an update on anybody who's wondering how I feel after day one, slightly ass, not incredibly, but pain everywhere around pretty much. Nothing too hard, too crazy. Now, day two, we are going to be doing just a recovery run, just because it's the first week. We hit it hard yesterday. We're going to try and establish some more mileage today, lightly, and then we're going to break until Monday, and Monday will be week two, day one, and week two will be when we start getting naturally set in stone. This is baseline week, so we're trying to figure out where we are and how we feel after certain movements. So let's get ready for that. Now, our recovery runs in the future will have a little more extra added on to them because, you know, you got to grow and maintain every day. But for today, we're just doing a mile. So we're back at our lovely field, and we're about to get down, start walking out our mile. Remember, we got to pace it out, and I'm going to start doing that. So I'm going to do my 400 meters of walking.
Yeah, so I started monologuing randomly about random stuff in my past, and nobody needs to hear that right now. But I don't have footage of the actual run because I need to listen to music on the run because it's a long run. The goal isn't speed, it's just getting that recovery run in there. I do go over how I felt and things like that, but in the future, I will have video of all my runs. Just right now, it's working on the schedule to get people out there to make sure I can get some video evidence of everything going down. But no, it was a good run. Felt good and gave us a good game plan for the next week. And I won't speak anymore the rest of the video outside of the actual video. So I'll talk to you guys next week.
Okay, I'm breathing heavy, understandably so. But made a solid pace with that mile. I think I was running. Actually, before I get into that, let's go into what this recovery run is. So I know some people might look at this and say, oh wow, a mile's not that much of a recovery. Maybe because it's too hard, or maybe it's because it's too easy. But the point of the run is to not work out your legs or your body. You want to keep them active and engaged so that way they don't get complacent and get stiff. Coaches have more detailed answers for that. I know it. It's hard for me to explain. But beside the point. The goal here, especially for if you're someone like me doing this program, is you know you're an athlete. You're still in a suitable athletic position. Maybe I'm not optimal. I definitely not optimal. Before, I could run a mile in about 6 minutes. Tops, easy. Chilling. Now I feel kind of exhausted breath-wise. But back to the point. The goal here is to expand your lungs. So whether it's a 30-minute run or a set distance run, you want to do whatever you're doing at a steady, constant pace / motion. If you slow down or speed up throughout the run, it is what it is. We're human. But the goal is to keep that pace, to always be faster than a walk and slower than a run. Walk, because you're just walking, unless you're on the more out of shape side of things, you won't be getting a workout. For not say like your legs won't be engaged and your lungs won't be pushing. Because we walk for miles easy. That's not the issue for most people, I should say. But if you're in my boat, or you're in my similar build type, you can pick 30 minutes, or I usually go with a mile. Go that pace, just run. You never want to stop. You never want to slow down to a walk. I should say you never want to speed up to a run, but if it becomes, that's how you figure out where you're at. Let's say you're not the time, but you pick the distance base, so a mile, and you're moving, or you're not feeling anything at the pace. Then for that run, you may I wouldn't say go up to a run, but maybe you do, and just try and finish the mile as hard as possible. Being that that's not good for you, or as long as you don't strain your legs, it's all right. You play it by your own basis. Personally, what I would do is elongate my pace if it felt too easy, and just go and transition into a timed run versus the distance. Whatever I marked out, just keep going at it for a set of time on my phone. I know I said never to stop, but this is when maybe you can slow down to a trot, get your phone out, or scoop your phone up from your base, wherever you're at, go from there. But for me, a mile is a good distance to, as long as I'm going at like a medium pace, almost sometimes looks like a trot, but when I get in the zone, it gets a little bit faster. Of course, I'll have recording of my next recovery run. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I will have footage so you can kind of see. We're not stopping. Granted, that's just it's a good day. Now also post run, originally I did plan, I'm using beanbags for my markers, for those who don't know. I walk out 100 meters, beanbags down, continue. Now, I don't pick them up on the run, on the last lap, strictly so I can do a recovery. I know it's a recovery run, but you still should do a cool down. We didn't warm up because we weren't trying to engage our legs, but essentially the mile itself was both a warm up and a workout. So you do want to cool down. Now I didn't get a chance to do this in college as much because the Norths, you do a lot of indoor, and the field's usually in. They don't have large amounts of fields usually at schools. But I did back in high school, and it was the best time I did recovery-wise, and I'm picking it up back now. So I walk barefoot on grass. You can see, barefoot stretches out the ankles, feet, and for me, also cleans. So I walk around in Crocs. The grass kind of skips up and to my shoe, whatever. But I've always found it to be good. It's helpful. It's easy. And walking more barefoot in general just makes you feel stronger and better in uncomfortable circumstances. I don't know what it is. It may not be true science, but I know for a fact when I walked cool downs barefoot, cool story, I ended up running my senior year's trials, the 400-meter trial. My spike, my left spike, when I was in stance, we weren't in blocks, we were just in like a race stance, whatever. When I started, I left the shoe. Different breed in me at the time. I don't know if I do it now, but maybe. I instantly made a business decision and said, I'm running it without the shoe. Because I didn't know if I get an excuse, and I was like, I'm not losing or not making the team. So, ran the whole race with one spike on asphalt, as you might add. Low-key fucked up my foot. I was out for like a week because of the pain. But I actually came first in that heat, and I came first, but I didn't run a good time. I ran like a 56. The foot, baby, it mattered. It was very uneven. But yeah, no, it was, my coach blew me a new one, told me never do that again unless it's states or some type of qualifying meet that this is the last run I'll ever get. But it does it for our cool down. I'm gonna edit this, put this all together, and I'll see you guys for week 2. We're gonna do these as every week.